I'm Hermes Combat. Go limbo down. When push comes to shove, you got to do what you love, even if it's not a good idea.
Hello and welcome back to Lovett Film. My name is Jamie and I am your host. Today's guest is Phil LaMarr. You know him as Hermes Conrad from Futurama. You know him as Green Lantern John Stewart from the Justice League TV show. You know him as Ollie Williams in Family Guy, and the list goes on and on. Marvin, Pulp Fiction, there's another one. Now, Phil LaMarr was an incredible guest. I just got off a Zoom call with him there, and we went through everything, whether it be how he was in the train scene in Spider-Man 2, how he worked with Seth MacFarlane, or even Dave Filoni in Star Wars The Clone Wars. We have it all here. What an amazing interview with Phil, and there was a little bit of an internet lag on the Zoom call, so just bear that in mind if there is any awkward pauses. Anyway, let's get into the interview. It's a pleasure to have you on for an interview. I can't believe I'm talking to you. I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you so much, man. That's very nice of you.
No, I genuinely mean it. Your voice has been heard in a lot of the shows I grew up with, whether it be, Hermes in Futurama or Kid Fistu in the Clone Wars, man. It's such a cool job you have. I really, really respect it. How are you today? All good?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's funny. Yeah, you mentioned you watched that in your childhood. Because, this stuff went from a long time ago. Well, it's funny because the one character says, "You got to get back to the past," which, whenever I'm thinking about my good work, I am getting back to the past.
Come on, there's plenty more to come, and you're so talented. I mean, the range of voices you do. Like I do a few little funny voices, but your voices are characters, man. I mean, they're just so different to each other as well. Like you could hear, like, say, Hermes, or maybe I know you were Aquaman and Young Justice, and you were like, you would never guess that that's the same guy doing that voice. So, it's like magic to me.
Well, no, I do a bunch of different voices, for two reasons. One, I started out doing sketch, so you're always doing a lot of different characters and impressions. But the big luck is I got to work with a bunch of great creators who give you such amazing universes and describe to you how these beings are, so you got to make them sound like what they're saying.
Yeah, big time. And I mean, even just like, say, your live action stuff, like I love the poster in the background, Pulp Fiction. I mean, what a movie to be in too. Tarantino in the 90s, and it's not even Reservoir Dogs, it's Pulp Fiction. I mean, that is just like when you think Tarantino, like we're here in Ireland, that's where I'm from. And when someone says Tarantino, you think Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, well, no, he's good. He's made a lot of good movies, but I just remember back in the 90s, the script for Pulp Fiction that I got to read for an audition was the best thing I had ever read, even in high school or college. I remember telling him, it's like, wow, dude, this is if Shakespeare had ever made movies.
I read too online that Tarantino actually knew you from, was it a play? Was it he saw you in, or an improv or something like that?
Yes. He was friends with a fellow groundling, Julia Sweeney, and he came and did an improv comedy show. And I got to perform on stage with him. That's how I got to meet him.
What was Tarantino like on stage?
He was so great and funny. And it was funny that he was completely different than his violent movies.
Yeah. I mean, he's just, I love his movies, and that
Well,
cast.
but getting to do improv with him on stage, I realized, this is why you cast yourself in the great stuff you write and direct, because you perform good.
Exactly. I mean, I think even like film schools and classes now, I mean, they study the scripts, which is just, it's like, even me, like I studied film in college, and Pulp Fiction, whether it be any of Tarantino's movies, it's fascinating that it gets studied. But I mean, going back to, like, say, your experience playing Marvin, What was that like? Because yes, it has an amazing cast, but those actors were at different stages in their career at the time. Like John Travolta was at a certain stage. Samuel Jackson, that was like his first big movie. I mean, what was it like to work with the cast back then?
It was such a pleasure. Well, one, because those guys were so great, but also so nice. But Quentin was so smart. He had us do rehearsals before filming so we could get through our scenes and figure out how we were all doing, which felt great, but no other movie ever had us do rehearsals. But like I said, how great the script was, that's how Quentin was able to get all of these big name stars into his second movie.
It's just amazing how quickly it, grew in popularity too. I'd imagine being on the set, possibly it wasn't like everyone knew Reservoir Dogs was good, like it was a really good film. But did you guys have any indication that whoa, this film might like completely dwarf that?
Well, I mean, we knew that it was a different kind of movie from Reservoir, but it was funny that he connected, Vincent's character in Pulp was related to the character in Reservoir Dogs.
And Phil, like it's not every day I get to ask somebody what Samuel Jackson is like as a person. Like what was he like to work with?
Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
So good. It was incredible because, like I said, in rehearsal and going to lunch and talking with this great, sweet, nice guy about where he was, his family, and all that stuff. But then on set, watching, and you feel like he has completely transformed himself into a completely different being. Yeah, he was amazing as a person and amazing as an actor. It's rare that you see people completely transform without makeup and wigs. But on set, it felt like you were in the room with a completely different person. Him playing Jules the Hitman. He transforms. And I'm like, wow, that's what we should all be doing in acting.
And John Travolta back then too. I mean, he was very, very famous. He's still, of course, he's more than famous. Like, I mean, did you ever go out with him off set and people be like, "Oh my God, that's John Travolta," like Grease and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I grew up watching him, but it was so wonderful to have rehearsal and then go to lunch because, we went to lunch at some foreign restaurant and there was a waiter who had grown up in another country, but you knew she was a fan of John. Because for all the rest of us at the table, it was just what we ordered. Burrito. But then it's like, John Travolta!
That's so cool. That's amazing. Going back to your voices, Phil. I mean, for folks who aren't aware, and I don't know why they wouldn't be aware because your voices are legendary. Just to name a few things you've done. I mean, going obscure too. We have like Ollie Williams in Family Guy with "It's Gonna Rain." We have Kit Fisto in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. We have Hermes Conrad in Futurama. We have Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. In Justice League, Samurai Jack, Virgil from Static Shock. I mean, the list is on and on and on. And I first just want to ask about Futurama because that show, I'd imagine, if we go back to 1999 when that show aired, that was made by the folks who made The Simpsons, like Matt Groening and stuff like that. Was there a pressure auditioning that, oh my God, this is like The Simpsons?
Not pressure. Getting to finally meet the creator of The Simpsons is a pleasure. And I was auditioning. Well, actually, it was a very lucky event because I was on the show Mad TV at the time, this sketch comedy show on Fox, and we were actually, me and another Mad TV person, David Herman, we were able to audition for a much bigger Fox show. because Simpsons was basically the reason we had a channel. And Matt Groening was just a lovely person. Still is.
And the first episode, Space Pilot 3000, it's such a unique, original idea, Futurama. Am I right in saying when you first started playing Hermes, he wasn't the Jamaican Hermes we know? You were playing him more like a bureaucrat, right? So he was just like a normal, you know, American accent.
Well, originally, the the character was a guy named Dexter, who was the accountant of Planet Express. But as we went into a couple of episodes, they rewrote. Said, no, we need to make this character more interesting. Phil, can you do a Jamaican accent? Yes. So he went from Dexter, the accountant, to Hermes Conrad, the bureaucrat.
It's amazing that you can just like jump into these voices. And for me, I don't know if it's a chemical reaction in the brain. I don't know if anyone's ever said this to you before, Phil, but when you hear a voice like that, and I see you, of course, you're Phil LaMarr, you were an actor. It's amazing that you have that connection with so many people who are audience members, like Hermes. I mean, with all those episodes of Futurama, I mean that's global. The amount of people who have heard your voice. I mean, what does Futurama mean to you? Thinking about that.
Um, well, again, it's creators of a great universe. That's why have so many people years later still come up to me and talk about how they watched it when they were younger, or they watch it before they go to bed now. I mean, because it's, David X. Cohen and Matt Groening have created a wonderful, completely different cartoon story. This set in the future 1,000 years forward.
I love how it like, it gets cancelled, stuff like that, and it comes back. It's like the most revived TV show, I'd say, in the history of television. Like, it goes, it comes back, and goes and comes back. And I think that's just because as you said, the writing is so funny, it's so clever, and still such to this day. I mean, there's a lot of TV shows who are that are rehashes of things we've seen, but Futurama is, profoundly unique.
But no, Jamie, you're absolutely right. It's weird that a show that good got shut down several times. I think that's probably mostly because the channel didn't have no bureaucrats. So they couldn't make right decisions. But the studio always realized that a ton of people loved the show. And that's why they always brought it back.
Exactly.
Like, we're going to get people watching if we put this back on.
It's true. I mean, like, I watch every time it comes back. It's like such an amazing thing. It's like, yes, we don't have to keep rewatching this stuff we've seen. We get something new. I mean, going into like some other animated stuff too. Seth MacFarlane is a huge role model of mine. I love Seth MacFarlane's work, and Family Guy is another amazing show. Your character in Family Guy is so memorable and so funny. I mean, how did that come about? Like, I mean, the Ollie Williams, the one line. I'd say, is that like an easy day in work for you? You come in and go, "It's gonna rain," and then you go home.
Yes. Well, it's again, this was another Mad TV blessing. Because a producer was bringing this great young guy, Seth MacFarlane, into network and asked me and my Mad TV co-caster, Alex Borstein, to come. Can you guys come do a pilot for this guy? And it's funny because initially with Seth, I voiced a neighbor, a judge, but later, once the show got picked up, he gave me this Blackie weather forecast man. Ollie, it's gonna rain. And it was funny because it was always just one line, but he said, make it angry. Ollie's mad.
I'd imagine the longest day you probably had on Family Guy was that one episode where Ollie was high and he had to talk really slow.
You're right. Or the one where he lost his umbrella.
Yeah, I read
Miles
too.
away.
I read too, Phil, that you're a big comic book guy. I mean,
Yes.
I'd say it was cool getting to be the Green Lantern, John Stewart, in Justice League. I mean, was that a dream come true? Sorry for the interruption. If you are enjoying this video, why not leave a like, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on all our socials at Lovett Film. Help us grow so we can keep giving you guys interviews like this or many of the other interviews. We've interviewed people from GTA, Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout, Dexter, you name it. More coming right here on Lovett Film.
Well, it was so amazing because I had, been watching comics, as a kid, or reading everything. And so I remember going to audition, and I knew who John Stewart was, but I thought John Stewart was one of the backup lanterns, like Guy Gardner. But our great producer, Bruce Timm, said, no, John Stewart is the Green Lantern here.
Wow.
And it was amazing for this Justice League to have more diversity and representation than the Justice League ever did in the comics, and have more gender than the comics. It was great to get to play John Stewart because I knew the character.
Exactly. And I mean, not just John Stewart, but I mean, you really got to play amazing characters in the DC universe. I mean, in Young Justice, you were also Aquaman.
Yes.
Aquaman, I feel like your Aquaman kind of made him cool as well.
Oh, well, and working for Greg Weisman in Young Justice was, again, well, as a comic book fan, that was another blessing. That was one of the best teen hero, stories.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. And anyone, if you haven't seen Young Justice, I feel like it is quite underrated too, because it's one of those DC shows that's like, wow, this is so good for an animated show.
Well, and I mean, I remember watching it and thinking, oh, wow, I wish when I was a kid, the show I was watching, Super Friends, I wish they had made kid heroes too. That would have made me feel it so much better.
Now, I'm a big Star Wars guy too, and I'm a big Clone Wars guy.
Oh.
Kit Fisto. I mean, you gave him a voice. He's in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, the movies, but he doesn't have a voice. He
doesn't speak in the movies. Yeah.
I mean, was that kind of a relief when you found out you were going to play Kit Fisto, that you didn't have to base your voice on anything?
Well, no, it was just the only voice suggestion was there was a Star Wars idea that beings from aquatic planets should sound Caribbean. So I got to do a Jamaican accent again. But for a bigger, stronger person.
With a lightsaber.
Not a bureaucrat.
I know this is probably such a crazy question, but have you ever met George Lucas when you were doing that? Like, did he ever show up? I know Dave Filoni wrote the Clone Wars, but
wow. Yes, no. Dave Filoni would tell us what George said to him. Wow. George didn't have to come to the cartoon, but he would have ideas.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's so cool to be. Like...
Actually, he had the initial idea to create Star Wars animation, and he mentioned it to Cartoon Network, and he was impressed with the quality of Samurai Jack. So they had the creator of Samurai Jack go and start Star Wars animation. That's why Samurai Jack stopped after the 4th season.
Seriously? Wow, I didn't actually know that. That's crazy for Star Wars animation. Wow.
Yes, Genndy Tartakovsky did a series of 5-minute Star Wars cartoons, and then eventually they changed them into 3D, not just, drawing animation. And Dave Filoni did a great job.
It's crazy. I mean, from going from where he was too, as in making the Clone Wars, to now with the new Mandalorian and Grogu movie. He's, I mean, he's the head of Lucasfilm. You know, like he. I don't know if you've seen that movie yet, but he cameos in
Mm.
the movie a few times, which is just so funny.
Ah, interesting.
Another thing I really wanted to ask you about too, because I have a movie that's my favorite movie. I'd say of all time, it's definitely up there. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Now, Phil LaMarr, for folks who aren't familiar with this, you weren't just in any scene in that movie. You were in the most famous scene in that entire film. In Toby's whole trilogy, you were in the train scene. And you caught Spider-Man as he was falling off the train. My first question about that would be, was the suit as cool as it looked in the movie in person when you saw, say, Toby wearing it?
Yes. It was so wonderful to see him come on set, and it's like, oh wow. Well, especially for a comic book fan to finally get to touch a character you've had in your life and mind since your childhood. That was wonderful.
And what was it like to shoot with that scene? I haven't seen the behind the scenes of this specific scene, but was it like an actual train made up with blue screen around it?
Yes, yes, we were in this train set, just a whole bunch of us, while Spider-Man would fight.
Wow.
And it's like, oh no, we're rooting for the Spider-Man.
I couldn't imagine it. It's so cool. I mean, it's crazy hearing these stories that you're saying too, because these movies mean so. Like Lovett Film, our page, we're all just we're fans. I mean, of all the stuff you've done, and it's crazy to hear you talking about filming the thing that we just got so immersed in. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. I wanted to mention too that these days, being an actor, I'd imagine, now I'm not an actor, but I'd imagine it can be tricky with the advent of, like, say, AI and stuff, and, like, literally taking a voice and making it say whatever it wants. I mean, where does that land for you, as in AI in general?
Well, thankfully, our acting union has fought against AI, taking our performance and talent out of acting. I think the only time it has actually been used with any real idea was when they contacted James Earl Jones' family, because they had lost James Earl Jones and they were thinking they could have AI get his voice back into things. And that makes a little sense. Well, yes, you're using recordings of a star that we've lost because we want to get him back. That would definitely make more sense than just hiring somebody to do an impression.
Yeah, hugely. I absolutely agree with that. And, us as fans too, like when the actor's still around, like, I mean, we don't like that either. I feel like it's just a certain amount of trolls on TikTok or whatever one of these apps, you know, just making stupid stuff. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about too, Phil, is that the Comic Cons, as in you do a lot of cons, and you're actually coming to our home country, Dublin, where I am right now. That's where I'm born and raised. Have you ever been to Ireland
Wow.
before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you'll
But
love it.
I'm very excited to finally get to come to Ireland.
Oh, amazing, amazing. I mean, I'm trying to think what's the best touristy thing to do. I mean, there's lots of stuff. There's like the whiskey museum. I mean, if you're a
Oh, wow.
drinker, there's things like the Guinness factory is very cool. But
Huh.
when you meet fans, I mean, what's that experience like? I'd imagine you get like from. Are you able to tell like, oh, that's a Futurama fan, or oh, maybe that's a Green Lantern fan?
Well, I don't ask somebody what they like, but I'm always interested to when someone mentions um, something that I've worked on that they watched, and I always say thank you for watching.
I love the cons too because it's kind of like it's such a I'd imagine, like, I don't know, of course, like, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's such a positive experience where you have all these fans coming together and celebrating so many different things that you have worked on, Is there like a project that you've done, whether it be live action, voice acting, video game, whatever, that is closest to your heart when you think about all the characters you've played?
Hmm. Well, actually, I suppose the one movie part that sits deep in my heart that most people don't mention was my part in this movie, Free Enterprise, a movie about Star Trek fans. And it was such a pleasure for me to get to meet William Shatner and to be with him in a scene where he did a Shakespeare rap song. But also, I got to play a character, one of the buddies of the nerds, but I was playing a real friend of the writer-directors. And it was a pleasure for me because years later, I got to work for the person I played. Because I played the character, my character was named Eric Wallace. And years later, Eric Wallace became the producer of the Flash television series.
Oh, this is the newer Flash TV series, like about like the Grant Gustin one. I love that show.
Yeah, it was great. Well, and luckily, years later, well, I mean, I got to meet Eric, when I was playing him, but get to voice a villain, Ragdoll, for him in his series. Because again, I'm a comic book fan, so
that's
extremely
rewarding.
Fight the Flash.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was such a good show too. I watched all of that. Incredible show. It's just
yes.
Wow. I'd say. I mean, would that be like a big highlight as an actor? Like, I mean, that's just a moment where you're like, wow.
Well, I'm surprised that they didn't have Michael Rosenbaum, who played the Flash on Justice League, go play the Flash. Although he did, after playing Flash, go play in the Superman show.
Yes. Michael Rosenbaum, I was such a big fan of his.
He was
Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it was Lex Luthor. Yeah.
I mean, he was talking to Tom Welling, who of course plays Clark Kent in Smallville, about bringing back like a Smallville animated show. So who knows? Maybe that's DC. Maybe you can come back as the Flash in that
Smallville animated. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be a weird sort of metaverse or something like that. That'd be cool. I'm such a big fan of Michael Rosenbaum's. One thing too, we have a lot of actors who they don't just want to be voice actors; they want to get into the industry in general. And I mean, for someone like you who's just been in so many amazing projects and still to this day, I mean, resonates with so many people. I understand this is like a very, very, I mean, broad question with a lot of elements to it. But if you could give someone any form of advice who want to do what you do as a job, where would you even start?
Well, no, I tend to let people know that it is not about the medium, whether performing on stage, performing on camera, or on microphone. That matters less than getting to work with great writer, creator, producers. Because when somebody gives you a great script like that, your performance gets better, whether on camera or cartoon. So the medium is less important than the universe.
Wow, that makes sense. Because a lot of our viewers, they do like it is like such a hard industry to just break into in general. Like especially even with like the voice acting stuff, and there's so much competition. I mean, is there ever an element of like, of course, with an actor, I mean, you get these amazing roles, but there's a lot of roles perhaps you don't get. I mean, what advice would you give to someone on maybe not getting a role that they wanted?
Oh, well, auditioning and not getting a job that's in every medium. On stage, movies, TV shows, cartoons. You don't always get everything you audition for. But I think some people maybe only audition for something that they really want to play, as opposed to just something that's being offered.
Well, it's brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant that you're being so honest about that, because a lot of people, as I said, they want to do what you do. So it's just been really great to talk to you, Phil. Like, I'm a genuine fan of yours. Like, I'm not just saying it. I mean, I've been watching your stuff like my entire life, whether Futurama, like when I was a little kid, you know, like that. I was born in 1999, for instance. So that show was, you know what I mean? Like, that was out my entire life, and it means so much to me. And so does like things like, you know, Green Lantern.
Well, Jamie, that's good for you. Well, I always believe that because of Futurama's big Harvard graduates who are the writers, kids getting to watch Futurama will get better grades in math and science.
Yeah. Absolutely. Before we go to Phil, is there anything you want to promote or perhaps say to the audience while you're here?
Yes, we have a new season of Futurama coming onto Hulu at the beginning of August.
Amazing. I mean, I hope Futurama never ends.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, thank you so much. It's genuinely been so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Well, hopefully I'll get to see you in Dublin.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're always at the cons. We love to see you guys coming over.
Wonderful. All right, Jamie.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Take good care.
Hey guys, it's Carl here. Support the podcast and like, subscribe, follow, or wherever you may be.